The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
SNY and NBC's Connor Rogers has his first mock draft of the offseason, and what he has the Jets doing is going to spark debate. We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
I let the organization down, and I let the players down, and that burns me. It really does. This season's on me, and we're going to work our ass off to get this shit exactly where it needs to be.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Hit the like button, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you to the Asmaniacs. Yesterday, we reached a new milestone. Over 44,000 of you have now subscribed to the channel, so I'm certainly appreciative of this community. My goal is to hopefully be at 50,000 subscribers by week 1 of the 2026 season. So we know the Jets typically win the offseason. Let's hope they do it again for another year, because more good news is great for the channel. So 44,000 of you have subscribed. Thank you to this community. Couldn't do it without you. And we will be live from the NFL Combine next week. Combine credential was officially approved yesterday. So we will see you for the third straight year in Indianapolis next week with live shows from the Combine. With that, we say hello to our guest. It's our guy, Nick Shine, host of the Nick Shine Show. Nick, love the background. How you doing?
Working on it. Getting some things, got some things ordered. Pleasure to be here, sir. We've been off for a few weeks. You were at the Combine, you were at the Senior Bowl, then the Super Bowl. I was ill last week, so pleasure to be back here with you, my friend.
Well, we certainly got a lot to talk about. We will be talking about the NFL draft, of course, Combines next week. And by the way, Connor Rogers will be among our guests that will join us on our show in Indianapolis. But here's a little reminder where the Jets are sitting, as everyone knows by now, of course. Pick number 2 and pick number 16. If you go on FanDuel, and we're presented by FanDuel, the overwhelming favorite, of course, to go number 1 is Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. Then after that, there's a huge debate on what exactly the New York Jets are going to do. Well, at least in Connor Rogers' mock draft, the New York Jets are taking a player that we did an entire film review on yesterday with the great Joe Blewett. So after Mendoza goes 1, the New York Jets are on the clock. And in his first mock of the offseason for NBC, Connor Rogers has the New York Jets selecting edge rusher David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Hit the draft sounder. Connor writing, with Steve Wilkes gone, Aaron Glenn will be more hands-on with the defense in 2026. He'll be aided by new defensive coordinator Brian Duker. But more importantly, regarding this pick, the return of defensive line coach Carl Dunbar to the organization. If that's a hint at a more 3-4 look, Bailey is very much in play. His first step, agility, and pursuit speed terrorize quarterback. So, Nick, I throw it to you. If the Jets were to take David Bailey at 2, your reaction on draft night would be?
I'd like it. He's one of the several guys that I think we could go with. You know, Reese has a lot of questions, but Connor's been very adamant about Bailey and just being a relentless dog coming off the edge. And we need that. You know, we kind of have been underwhelmed with Will McDonald. And I would like Will McDonald, if we keep him as the opposite side, 3-4. I like those two guys coming off the edge in pass rushing situations. Now, of course, I want to use our other assets to bulk up the middle to allow these guys to come free off the edge. But I mean, I like the potential of Bailey, and there's several guys here that are just it's not a blue chip guarantee pick here at 2. And it's a bad year to be at number 2, right? The same as when it was Zach Wilson. It's a bad year to be at 2 because there's not that clear cut. He could go 1 also type of player, but I like Bailey. Bailey's very good coming off the edge, and we need that. You got to get, if you don't have the quarterback, you got to hit the quarterback. Those are the 2 guys that you go for at the top of the draft. So if this is a guy who can continuously get to the quarterback, evolve, and we can finish the front 7 and complete that throughout, the next year or 2, I think this guy could be a hit. So he's one of the on my short list of guys that I would be happy with the pick.
Right now, it feels like there's 3 players that could go at 2. I'm not fully buying into Caleb Downs, the safety at Ohio State, as a real option at this point. He could be. I'm just not there just yet. I think Bailey's one of those players. Daniel Jeremiah also mocked Bailey to the Jets in his mock. So this is no longer like, fan fiction or, not a popular name. Like every mock had Ruben Bain going to the Jets after the national title game. And then when the draft people actually start putting out their mocks and the coaches and scouts, front office people start doing their evaluation, I think we'll see a lot more people having Bailey go number 2. So I don't think this is crazy at all. I think in terms of the other options, it'd be Bain, and it also would be Arvell Reese. And if I was making a pick right now, I think the Jets would take Reese at this point because they bet on the upside, his ability to do multiple things. He's only 20 years old. He didn't rush the passer a ton this past year, but when he was asked to do it, if you look at his pressure rate, it was as good as any in the sport. So I still think Reese would be the favorite as we sit here right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if David Bailey ends up being the pick for the Jets. He's maybe not the best against the run, and that's a concern if you're going to take a guy number 2. But what he does well when he's at his best, you can argue he's the best pure pass rusher in this draft. And obviously, if you're going to use the number 2 pick on someone, you want someone who's got that skill set, because if you get sacks in the NFL, that's how you become a star.
Yeah, and don't forget, with the Jets taking over a month to fire and then hire coaches, when the national championship game happened, we didn't know if we'd be 4-3 or 3-4. But now with Duker and Dunbar coming in, it looks like the transition is starting to take place. And that's why you're seeing, I think, Bailey now become the guy and not Bain. And it's nothing against Bain's characteristics, traits, or abilities. It's just Bailey would be a demon off the edge. He would be absolutely ferocious time and time again. And you need that in the NFL. You see that defense can still win championships, Jake. And when you can get to the quarterback time and time again, you do it.
There's a philosophy. I remember I was saying a ton in 2022, the year after the Jets had Zach Wilson already as their quarterback, and we were all hoping as fans he'd take the year 2 leap. It was either help the quarterback or get after the quarterback. That was a popular phrase I remember saying on the show. And they did a really good job of that, right? I mean, they took Garrett Wilson in that draft, and they got Jermaine Johnson in the first round. Brees was the second-round pick. Obviously, Sauce helped make that defense an elite unit, and he was Defensive Rookie of the Year. I feel like at 2, it's a similar philosophy here. There's no quarterback to take. I think 2 is probably too early for a receiver, although some might disagree on that. So to me, it's still overwhelmingly likely that an edge is the pick at 2. I just don't buy into Caleb Downs just at this point, although I can't lie. You watch him and you go, yeah, he just might be the best overall player in the draft, even at a non-premium position.
Yeah, he's tremendous. But the salary and the positional importance of number 2, I hated safety at 6 when we took Jamal. I didn't like that pick at all when we took Adam. So at 2, I don't know. I could buy into it. Like I always tell this story. The year that we drafted Sauce, I did not celebrate. I did not react. I wasn't happy until we then traded up at 26 and got Jermaine. When we had the pairing of the 2, that's what I liked. I would probably have the same reaction here with Downs, because if you're going to have a safety and he's going to play well, you need a real dominant front in front of him. Otherwise, your safety's making plays 10, 15 yards downfield, and we've seen enough of that throughout the years. If you, say, add Banks, or you add C.J. Allen, or you get one of the pass rushers, if we take multiple picks in a row on defense to then build this front 7, I could learn to like the pick of Downs. But instantly, I would kind of not buy into it.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We'll get to more of these selections in Connor's mock momentarily. But I do want to share this. end of our second stream today, here's the raffle prize. We'll give people 2 shows for their chance to enter a signed helmet by our guy, Joe Klecko. That's right. Member of the Jets Ring of Honor, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Helmet includes the Hall of Fame signature, making it more valuable, includes the certificate of authentication, as you see on the screen there. So if you want to enter, gift the membership, and you'll be entered for your chance to win. Plus, on Friday, you'll be entered in our signed Joe Namath jersey raffle, Ken O'Brien jersey raffle, Vinny Testaverde jersey raffle, and prize 4 is a signed helmet by Chad Pennington. Jet QB raffle is the theme for the weekly prizes. So enter for your chance to win. I want to shout out a couple channel members. Jorge signed up last night. He's in the raffle for 1. Roberts Mick signed up to be a YouTube channel member as well. He's an official Asmaniac, so he's also in the raffle for 1. The return of K&D, King and Dream, showing love, gifting a 5 spot to the community. He's the first to do it. He is in our raffle for 5. Let's go.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
That we are, Fireman Ed. That we are. Just a bit. Just a bit. All right. Keep it rolling here with Connor's mock, because it's interesting. At 2, the Jets take Bailey. Where does Reese go? Well, Reese goes number 3 to the Cardinals. Ruben Bain goes 4. So think about this. Defense, defense, defense. The 3 players we've debated the most from a Jet standpoint. Jets take Bailey. And the next 2 players, also defensive players. Giants take an offensive lineman, Francis Maligoa from Miami. Browns take the first receiver off the board in Carnell Tate. Commanders take Sonny Styles, who was thought to be a guy in play at 16, but all the buzz about him, he could easily go in the top 10. Connor has that being the case here to the Commanders at 7. At 8.
Could I add something real quick?
No. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No. I would like the Styles pick more than the safety pick. I would like Styles more than Downs at 2. If push comes to shove, I would take Sonny Styles over Downs. That's just me. I want that dominant front 7. Not that I want a linebacker or safety at 2, but I would prefer the linebacker than the safety here.
Don't hate that take. Just it's kind of like pick your preference. Who do you think's better? 8, Saints take Jordan Tyson, so that's 2 receivers off the board. 9, Jeremiah Love goes to the Chiefs. By the way, this is relevant because if they signed Breece Hall, as some have speculated they would this offseason, they wouldn't then take Jeremiah Love at number 9. So we'll get a pretty good idea on if Love's a possibility to KC based on how they approach the running back position in free agency in a few weeks. Number 10, here's where Caleb Downs goes to the Bengals at number 10. So he's there. So he's gone. So is Sonny Styles as well. Number 11, the Dolphins take a corner, Jermod McCoy from Tennessee. That was a possible Ty Simpson spot. So he's still on the board as we get to pick 12. Cowboys take another corner, Mansour Delane from LSU. So back-to-back corners now off the board. Pick 13, another possible Ty Simpson spot, right? The Rams could get him in the pipeline and have him take over for Stafford eventually. That's not the case in this mock here. Rams take Mekhi Lemon, so that's now the 3, including the 3 big receivers we've covered the most thus far, all off the board by pick 13. Lemon goes to the Rams. 14, the guard out of Penn State, whose name I'm going to struggle saying. Olave.
The guard from Penn State. It's good. The guard
Penn State guard. Yeah, Penn State guard. Pick 15, 1 in front of the New York Jets. Buck sign or draft edge Cassius Howell from A&M. New York Jets now on the clock at pick number 16. Who will they take in the Connor Rogers mock draft of champions? Many are asking. Many want to know. The answer? The New York Jets draft wide receiver Denzel Boston from Washington. Connor writing, quote, Boston uses his big frame to shield defenders as he plucks the ball out of the air, allowing him to haul in 20 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. His mass, length, ball skills, and run blocking would bring a much-needed element to the Jets' receiving room. Trotting out him, Garrett Wilson, and A.D. Mitchell in 11 personnel is a nice start to rebuilding a broken passing attack. I don't hate the idea of taking a receiver at 16. I don't love Boston from what I have seen thus far. I know Joe Blewett is not very high on him. I actually like Casey Concepcion from A&M a little more than Boston if I'm just ranking receivers. I also would love to maybe see the Jets take a receiver in the second round at pick 33 if Boston's the best that's left by the time they get on the board at 16. Again, I don't hate the pick. I just think there could be better value elsewhere. Like I look at a guy like Concepcion or even like Omar Cooper Jr., who we watched a ton while watching Mendoza this year, as a guy that you maybe could get a little bit later with your 2 second-round picks. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't love this pick. I'm not going to sit here and crush it. It's a mock draft after all. It gets us talking. But this would not be what I would do if I were the Jets.
Agreed. And our guy Dom C early, sometime in December, he was on my show, and I asked about Boston because I like a bigger, I like the old school wide receiver, like that Braylon Edwards, the Brandon Marshall. I like that big physical guy to match and pair with the athletic freak of Garrett Wilson. And Dom said to me, he doesn't get great separation. He catches a lot of contested balls. He's got he's great at that. But that's because he has so much practice because he never really gets separation. And separation will be even tougher for him to get on the next level. So that kind of scared me off, but listen, we need talent. And if you can bring in a good system and you can find ways to free him up and you can get to the red zone, that's my concern. Is like the Jets offense getting to the red zone, not getting into the red zone and then throwing him the jump ball. That's easy, right? If you got to throw a contested back shoulder or a fade, how are we going to get down there? I think this is a generation in the NFL where you see the quicker, more elusive wide receivers that get open and can get in space and can create when they have the ball in their hands. And I think that's the way the league is trending. So to go back to a guy that might not fit this generation of offense, I don't know if I'd like this pick, to be honest.
To me, the idea of taking a receiver makes sense. I just don't know if the value is great there. I also think we'll get a pretty good idea if a receiver is truly in play. Because what if the Jets are just like, screw it, we're going to sign Alec Pierce, pay him the most money, or the Colts cut Pittman if they keep Pierce and they're going to pay him the most money, or there's a receiver trade we're not thinking of. And we also don't know internally how they view the guys they currently have. What if they think A.D. Mitchell's a lot better than we've seen so far because the quarterback play was an abomination the last 5 games with Brady Cook out there. Like we saw flashes from Mitchell and Tyrod got in the game for what it's worth. So that's the other thing too. I just think there's better value at 16. Now, what's interesting is Ty Simpson's on the board here. And I wonder if the Jets would take Ty Simpson. If Ty Simpson makes it to 16, they didn't have to trade up. You could just stick and pick. How you feeling about the possibility of Ty Simpson being drafted by the Jets?
Not a fan. And I'm not a fan. I'm a Georgia fan. This has nothing to do with him being an Alabama guy. This has to do with being 23, inexperienced. And the more he played and the more film that was out on him throughout the year, the worse he got. He regressed. I want a quarterback who's ascending. I want a quarterback that when the film's out there, he still is able to do the things that he needs to do. And this guy, to me, free fell all year. And from October on, he really didn't have a great game. So I would hate that pick. And I know we need a quarterback, but we need to also find ways to win games. And we need to build a defense. And I am adamant that with Aaron Glenn becoming the defensive coordinator, right? His name is on that line. Now his job could be on the line. So I expect the Jets to take asset after asset and build this defense because I don't want a half-ass defense and then a quarterback who's not helping you. I'd rather take a Caleb Banks here. Caleb Banks is my guy in this draft. You put him in the center of this defense, and that opens up everybody else to be free. You have to double him. That would help a Bailey coming off the edge. That would help a Will or Jermaine, whoever we keep on the other side coming off the edge. And when you have, I've said, whenever you have a good Jets defense throughout history, you've had a dominant guy in the middle of it. Whether it was Jason Ferguson as nose tackle, Chris Jenkins, Sione Puha, Quinnen Williams, Snacks Harrison. Whenever we've had a good defense, we have had that centerpiece. Go get that centerpiece. I don't want a guy that we're going to take, Jake, and sit and hope. And now, what are you going to do next year? You have 3 first-round picks next year. You're going to take another quarterback next year if you don't find out what you have in Simpson this year. There's too many premium assets to just roll the dice. If you're going to take the quarterback, listen, we've waited this long. I can wait one more year and get a Kirk Cousins for this year who can just facilitate the offense, get the ball out on time. Our offensive line has shown that they can protect and give you 3.5 seconds time and time again. Kirk can get the ball out. I would be content with that for this year. And then next year, go for the guy, not a question mark at 16.
For me, the earliest you could take Ty Simpson would be at pick 33. And I don't even love the idea of taking a quarterback at 33. I could live with it because it doesn't set you back if you move on after a year for the reasons you outlined, right? This is a year where Aaron Glenn used to try and win enough games to save his job. If Ty Simpson gets in there and everyone says he needs to sit, are you really able to make a foregone conclusion on what you have with Ty Simpson with limited starts before you have 3 ones in 2027 and might have a brand new coaching staff coming in that has no allegiances to Ty? I just think it's risky. The earliest you could do it would be the second round, though. That said, not my preference. I would understand it if they did do it, though, because at least it's a guy who you think you could start. He's got upside. There's good value there. Like, you might not find a great player at 33. The dream, I think, is 44, and they could trade out at 33, but we'll see. In this mock, for what it's worth, and I don't think this will be the case by the time we get to late April when the draft is. I just think quarterbacks get overdrafted. Simpson will go in round 1. But in Connor's mock here, Simpson didn't go in round 1, so he would be on the board for the New York Jets to either trade back into round 1 if they want him and want to guarantee the 5th-year option, or if no one takes him, you can get him to start night 2 at pick 33.
Yeah, and we've seen it happen before, right? The Giants did it with Dart. The Ravens did it with Lamar. You bump up into round 1. You get into that late round 1 spot where you get the 5th-year option on the quarterback, especially if this is going to be a guy that you sit for a year. You want to have that option. So if the Jets do bump up, I would expect it to be for a quarterback from 33. Otherwise, you just sit there and you take all the phone calls all day too and just use everyone against one another and get the best possible deal and move back where you can close this gap of 44 to 103 or even 103 to 175. Having that one pick in 130 picks, I think Muji's going to masterfully work this board and maximize this draft. I think there's a really good draft in round 2s and 3. I don't like being at the top. I hate being at 2. I pray that there's a way somebody trades up. Like, I hope that Robert Saleh just says, we have to get Bain. Let's move up to 2. Guarantee that we get Bain. Make sure nobody jumps us. That's my dream right now. Because if you move back to 4, Bailey, Reese, you're going to get one of them if he moves up for Bain. So, and that would close that gap back there. Even if we undersell the pick a little bit, I think that the value would be in getting the extra pick where it's a richer draft.
Robert writes in, watch Carson Beck's stock rise. He has the size and arm of an NFL QB. He didn't have the arm this year because he was coming off the surgery. He's got a lot of games played. Someone will draft him. I don't think his stock's going to rise to the point where he's a first or a second round pick. I think the earliest he goes is somewhere in round 3, and that feels like a bit of a reach.
I think that would be him rising, would be getting into 3. Not a big fan of his. Like I said, I'm a Georgia fan. I watched him play, and I've always said he is the college version of what Mark Sanchez was with the Jets, Jake. He would make an incredible throw, and you'd be like, that's why he's the guy. That's why he's the man. And then he misses guys wide open. He sails it. He short hops it. There's times where he just looks lost, and that was Mark Sanchez, right? Sanchez, we all would be like amazed by a throw. He'd make a perfect timing slant to Santonio Holmes, who'd take it the distance, and then he'd miss a wide open guy, throw a horrible pick. So no, I can't even entertain Beck.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. If you hear construction in the background, I apologize. My street has been ridiculous all week, so it's only in the morning seemingly, but appreciate the audience for bearing with me here. Reminder, if you ever missed the show, speaking of things you could hear, you can get the Jake Asman Show available on Spotify or Apple. So if you watch on YouTube, but you're in the car for the day, you want to download the full show, you could do so as an audio podcast wherever you get your podcast. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. We're giving away a signed Joe Klecko helmet on the show today, so make sure you enter for your chance to win. The Ghost writes in, switching to a 3-4 defense will set us back another 5 years. I disagree with this. It might influence the pick at 2, but again, changing your scheme, it happens all the time in the NFL, and no team is just a 3-4 and they only stay in a 3-4. Every defense is multiple now, given the way the NFL now is with the passing leagues and the amount of receivers that are out there. So You might not love it, Ghost, but it will not set the Jets back 5 years. The Patriots went from Gerard Mayo and worse than the Jets to in the Super Bowl this year. Things happen all the time in the NFL year over year.
Yeah, not having the quarterback is what would set us back another 5 years. Not
reaching at 2 for
transitioning
Ty
the defense.
Simpson and then not taking a quarterback in 2027 because you made the pick in 2026 that you're now stuck with, that sets you back another 5 years.
Yeah, I don't think we're far off from a 3-4 because say if you go Bailey and then you take Banks, you have Briggs, Banks, and Phillips as your 3 down linemen, which is pretty solid. You know, they're not going to get pushed around. Our run defense would be good with those 3 down. And then you have Bailey and say Will McDonald as your outside linebackers. And then you have Sherwood and you go get another middle linebacker either through free agency or draft. And now you got a front 7 that's big and physical with your front 3. And then you got guys like Bailey, McDonald, Sherwood, and then your other middle linebacker who can run and make plays. So I don't think we're far off. I think we're better off suited right now today for 3-4 than we are 4-3. And that's been years of 4-3.
You're not wrong. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. That's why we go to the big fella. If you don't like Boston at 16, take Brazel at 44. Interesting point there. Chris Brazel, we know big fella loves his Tennessee players. Dom C has him right now as his 10th graded wide receiver, and he has a 2nd/3rd round grade on him. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. He's an ex-vertical type receiver, 3-star recruit from the 2022 class from Midland High School in Midland, Texas. His father, Chris, played wide receiver for Blinn College and Angelo State before being selected in the 6th round of the 1998 NFL draft by the New York Jets. So Parcells drafted him, meaning Aaron Glenn was a teammate of Brazel's dad. Interesting note there.
Yeah. The epic 98 draft. That was a good draft, 98. Parcells cooked, as they say.
Let's look up the 98 Jets draft. Get the full
off the top of my head. Let me see. Was that the year we got Fabini and Leon Johnson? Or was that 97?
You're half right.
Fabini was that year?
Fabini was a 4th round pick that year.
Okay. So Fabini was the 4th. Was that James Farrier? No, that was 97 when we traded back.
Dorian Boose, Scott Frost, Kevin Williams, Jason Fabini, Casey Daly, Doug Karzewski, Blake Spence, Eric Bateman, Eric Ogbagu, Chris Brazel, Dustin Johnson, Lawrence Hart. I think you're confusing.
97 was the year that he cooked.
That was the year they traded out of the number 1 spot because Parcells didn't guarantee to Archie Manning that they were going to take Peyton number 1.
Traded back twice. We traded back to the Rams, and they traded up and took Orlando Pace, and then we traded back a second time, and then we took James Farrier.
97 Jets draft. James Farrier, Rick Terry, Dedrick Ward, Terry Day, Leon Johnson, Lamont Burns, Raymond Austin, Tim Sharp, Chuck Clements, Steve Rosga, and Jason Ferguson, friend of the show.
Yeah, just phenomenal nose tackle. Wasn't the biggest guy, but man, he was impossible to block at times.
Here's the 97 draft.
You can hit a center of your defense late, do it. And now I know people, with my love for Caleb Banks, people say you don't draft a nose tackle there, and Ferguson's proof. But I just think that if you're going to play a hybrid and you're going to move around and you're going to have him in that 0 tech and move him over to 1 or whatever, that's a guy you just plug in, man, and let him consume block. It's like a Chris Jenkins role. You can line Jenkins up over to center, and he would throw him back into the quarterback and just break free. You could, I don't know, man. I'd be furious if Banks is there at 16 and we don't take him, no matter who the pick is.
The Real 2 Cruisin' says if Muji feels secure for 2027, he'll trade back the number 2 and accumulate more picks for the next coach. I see Caleb Downs in our future. Well, the spot to trade back, if you're saying number 2, I'm assuming you mean pick 33 of round 2, because I think you're going to have a tough time finding a trade partner that makes sense at number 2 overall. I do believe that the Jets' best approach is potentially trading out of one of their 2 second-round picks. Pick 33 is the most traded pick in the draft year over year, if you look at the history of it. So find a team that wants to come up, acquire a 3rd, get some extra picks. Maybe you take your dart throw quarterback swing in round 3 with the pick you acquire there. and just add more players to the team. It feels like this is a draft where you really want second and third round picks. That's where the value is.
Absolutely. And you play teams against each other for that 20 hours in between, right? And you just keep saying, no, we got a better offer. No, we got a better offer. And just get them, you maximize that pick as much as you can and hope that somebody who had a player rated in their top 16 falls to 33 and they're willing to pay a little extra to jump up for it.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Again, thanks to the best community in sports for helping us reach the 44K plateau. We're working on 50K by week 1. Appreciate everyone who's out there in the chat, everyone who's not watching live. As Maniac Madness is upon us, baby. The committee is working. Finalizing the bracket. The tournament is about 2 weeks away from getting underway. Selection Sunday will not be this Sunday, but when I return from Indy the following Sunday, it will get underway. So get your last second calls in if you want to qualify. Some really good callers need to call at least once to be eligible. We're looking at you, Robert C. We're looking at you, Leany. You got to call in if you want to qualify for As Maniac Madness. It's going to be a lot of fun for those of you new to the show. Buckle up is all I would say, Nick.
It's remarkable. It really was. Last year was just you couldn't miss a show. You wanted to see the presentation of the matchups and then what callers would do. There was a lot of things that were just outrageous. Peter Castro getting on the bike, I mean, just stands out in my mind.
Nate going around trying to get people to vote for him on the street in Times Square.
It was fun. And in a time where the Jets aren't good, the fact that you can have 64, we're trying to trim it down to 64. We're at 68, right?
We're at 68.
So
yeah. And there's some really good callers that either just didn't call in to qualify or just, we couldn't find a spot for them. Like it was tough. We added 4 more spots. I said to Boom, get ready for the NIT, the Asmaniac NIT tournament bracket.
Yeah, we could do it.
Unreal.
It's been fun discussing it, being a part of the committee. The discussions are fun. The breakdowns are fun. Putting the matchups together. We hope you guys enjoy it. We've enjoyed the process and we're still tweaking it a little bit. And I think this will be a lot of fun again. I'm looking forward to this, man.
Shout out to Mike Duramo for designing the logo that we'll be using on all the brackets. And everyone out there who doesn't remember, you'll have a chance to fill out your own bracket. We use Run Your Pool, custom bracket, and whoever does the best will win a sweet prize. I'm still determining what the prize will be. Maybe it'll be opening day Jets tickets, or maybe a really cool signed Jet memorabilia piece, or maybe it's a day with Bobby Midnight as he works on trying to walk with 9 toes under Nick Shine's guidance.
It's doable. I mean, I can get up now and show you. I can move. I can block. I can sidestep. I can do it all, baby.
Love it. Love it. Some super chats here. Joey R, $5. Thank you, Joey. Any smart GM would take Down/Bailey at 2, as BPA and Denzel Boston scored 11 of his 20 touchdowns in the past 2 years in the red zone, which is where we struggle. I love Connor Rogers' picks. Again, I understand the thought process there. Downs at 2, you got to tell me, where do the Jets grade out the other defensive edge players? Because I just think there's way more value in getting a premium edge at 2 than a safety. That said, Downs is clearly better than the edges. If that's how they view it, but all right, I'm more open to it because I think this is a unique circumstance where it's a down draft from an overall talent, not Downs, but like a down talent pool. And you just look at what the Jets need. They need a safety desperately. They didn't have an interception all year. So they clearly need that. And also, they have another first-round pick, and they have 2 second-round picks. So, I believe you got to factor in positional value when you're drafting. The Jets are in a unique spot where they have 5 firsts over the next 2 years. You could afford to take one of them on a non-premium position if it makes sense, and Downs might make sense. So I'm not going to poo-poo it. If this was years ago, I didn't want Kyle Hamilton. I wanted them to take Sauce. I wanted them to take Garrett or Drake London at 4. I wanted them to potentially take who was one of the offensive linemen, Aquanu, or I guess it was Evan Neal was the other name. I didn't want Kyle Hamilton. I didn't think it made sense for the Jets. And they took Sauce, and that obviously worked. So, for me, I'm more open to it this year with Downs than I was a couple of years ago with Hamilton.
Yeah, and you got to factor this in as a Jet fan, Jake. How much value can we get for this guy in 3-4 years when we trade him? Because we seem to trade our first round picks away all the time. So you got to look at what could we get. We've already set the precedent with the Jamal Adams safety trade. So if we can get more for that in 3-4 years, fuck it, do it.
I get it. Super chat. Ralphie Rocks in the house. Does Maisie Smith that we got from Dallas fit into the defensive line system, or is he a bust? I would not count on anything from Smith. He barely did anything when he got a chance to play. I mean, maybe he's competing for a roster spot. Yeah, he's competing for a roster spot.
Yeah, when we did that trade, according to PFF, he was the lowest rated out of all the qualifying defensive linemen. So take that for what it is. Can Dunbar get something out of him? Maybe, but I would not bring that name up unless you start to see it on the field come August.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to your calls. So load them up on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Oregon Jets sent in a $10 super chat. For whatever reason, it hasn't loaded yet on StreamYard, but I can read it right off my other monitor here. He says, his Joe Namath helmet arrived. It's beautiful. Thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, Oregon Jets. How about a Joe Klecko helmet to match your Joe Namath helmet? Another Joe helmet. That's right. End of our second show today. We give away the signed Joe Klecko helmet. So your chance to win when you enter the raffle, like Oregon Jets just did with his $10 super chat. Let's get to your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who won a signed Garrett Wilson helmet yesterday on the show is on the air. He also had a heart attack 2 days ago and is already calling in. It's our guy, Artie, who's on the line. Hello, Artie.
Hey, what's up, guys?
You tell us.
It was quite a surprise that it wasn't heartburn. Yeah, I was eating a salad, and I get a little heartburn afterwards. The day goes on, it's feeling worse and worse. And took some Pepto, stuff like that. And finally, it got so bad, I took my blood pressure. And it was like 185 over 112. It was like crisis. So we had to call the paramedics. Anyway, yeah, you just got to be careful out there, man. If you don't feel right, do what your mind tells you, not what you want to do. Typical guys just keep taking Pepto and things of that. And I got lucky. But they put a stent in. I feel great. Everything checked out good.
Oh, they
I'm
did
waiting
a
to be
stent
let go. I should be home by the afternoon show, hopefully. So things worked out good. And I just want to thank everybody. Really, it was a heartfelt support that you gave me and Peg, the calls, the PM and the private messages and the raffle entries. I mean, that was really nice. I appreciate it so much. So we get back to the draft stuff and get this heart attack stuff behind us. And hopefully, we'll have a good off season.
Amen.
Artie, you're the man. I'm glad that everything's going to be okay. And look, if the Jets didn't kill you by now, I knew you were going to be fine.
Gary and the goddamn salad. He was right. Gary was right.
God damn it. Why did you have to say that? Those are inner thoughts. Don't ever say Gary was right out loud. What's wrong with you? We got to check your head while you're in the hospital.
Yeah, that's for sure. I got to live long enough to see the turnaround, right? I can't go out now.
From your lips to God's ears. Artie, you're the man. I'm glad you're doing okay. And
Thanks,
call whatever you
it.
can. Yep.
You got it.
Shout out
Later,
to Peg
guys.
as well. Peg taking good care of Artie. That's awesome. Best community, man. I mean, we've had so many callers call in from the hospital before operations, after operations. I mean, Artie had a heart attack 2 days ago. Just incredible.
Yeah. The commitment to being part of this community is just impressive. It's, Bobby's called in. I've called in from the hospital. Artie's called in. We've had others. It's a lot of us are blessed to be a part of something like this. We really are.
By the way, Oregon, I see your super chat. It finally came up, so I got you down. Common country. This is why Beast doesn't eat salads. You think Beast is on to something?
It could be. He could be a trendsetter. StreamYard is acting wild. There'll be like no comments, and all of a sudden 20 of them will load real fast.
Every time they do some sort of update, it always gets worse.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Never ends. More of your calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say hello to a man we just referenced.
Woo, 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 woo. Nothing says Cocoa Puffs in the morning.
There we go. I was gonna see what type of cereal you're on.
Hey, it's Wednesday. It's a sunny day. It's a beautiful day, except for my nose looking like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on steroids.
What happened to your nose, Peace? You never said.
Nasal congestion. Nasal. You know how you got sick? I wound up with that for a couple of days. So what did I do? Take a lot of pills. 5 ibuprofen, over 200 a shot. That's over 1,000. That's a super shot right there. Vitamins, a lot of vitamin C, and lovely NyQuil. 1 shot. Yeah, shoot it down like it's like a shot of whiskey. Nothing new. That's gonna be fine. We'll be fine. Brees is not going anywhere. Bray Allen, he's going somewhere. Don't need him. He's after that debacle in Miami. Nope. You gotta go, kid. You look great on tape. Don't even think about
about you, son.
Back off. Back off. Back off.
I need you to take care of
Don't
yourself.
even think about it.
We've already had one Asmaniac have a heart attack this week. Let's not make it 2. Take care of yourself.
I'm trying to enjoy breakfast here. So how about
I'm trying to keep you alive. How about that, buddy?
how about take a back seat? Enjoy breakfast. Get a bowl of cereal.
We know
Why would you expect God
breakfast.
to take a back seat to you? God's in the front seat. He's the driver, Beast. Pay attention.
Cocoa Puffs will kill you, Beast. It will hurt you.
Clumsy old whoever this Ooga Booga is, Ooga Booga.
Beast,
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I'm
I am
referencing.
your father.
Yeah. And you know who I am? You really know who I am? Yeah.
Beastbreaker.
Let's see. Let's see.
666.
There's a perfect name from WNBC who I can
Jason
reference.
Storm.
How about the great? You don't sound like Rush Limbaugh. You know that. You're definitely not Rush.
Shut up, fatty. I'm trying to keep you alive.
Your mouth with me, son, or you're gonna get slapped.
You
Beast,
can't
in your
even
world,
see me.
Rush Limbaugh's God.
I like Rush Limbaugh. He was a good guy.
You can't
Another
see
guy
me,
that I
Beast.
used to like was the great Don
I'm
Imus.
John Cena. You can't see
Remember
me.
Don Imus?
Dun, 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 dun.
You know, get your
Dun,
John
dun,
Cena
dun,
reference
dun.
out my face.
Interesting back and forth there with Beast and God.
I didn't know that anyone would ever have Rush Limbaugh as the voice of God.
Or was that John Cena? I couldn't see him. All right. More of your outstanding calls on our show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Doc Jet Fan. What's up, Doc?
Good morning, guys. Just to switch subjects for a minute, can we talk about Chris Carlin's response to an interview with Manish Mehta?
Yes.
Because that was one of the most bizarre takes I've ever seen, and I'll tell you why. So for those, I guess, who don't know, you had Manish on last week, controversial figure, hasn't been on the Jets beat in the last 5 years. Many accused him of stepping over the line in some of his reporting techniques. But so Chris crushed you, right, for even having him on the line, claiming that it somehow cheapened this channel. And he said all that without even listening to the interview. So that's the first. I think it makes his opinion completely irrelevant. But the reason that people listen to this show, you're not beholden to Jet management. You know, you don't have to go in and do an interview with the players in the locker room on a daily basis. You can say what the average Jet fan is thinking, and that's what makes this radio gold. So to turn around and say that somehow he cheapened this station, it was completely the opposite. This is what we turn the computer on to listen to. I thought you were more than a gentleman and not pushing back too far. Because here's the deal. I mean, you know, like guys like Howard Stern say it all the time. You don't like the content, you don't listen. You have that choice. But for somebody like me that wants to hear what Manish had to say, don't take that opportunity away from me. And you know what? He made some. I thought he was contrite and polite and tried not to be overly controversial. You know, what were your thoughts with the whole thing? You know, now that you have a chance to reflect on it.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for the kind words, Doc. I appreciate it. My big thing is, well, I didn't always agree with Manish and some of his tactics allegedly that he was using, no one's actually ever heard from him. And again, like all I could do is ask him about this stuff and give him a chance to respond. And if he doesn't want to answer it, that's fine. But I think the idea that everything he's ever reported when he was on the Jet beat for almost 15 years, all of a sudden is like invalid now, or he made everything up, or he didn't have sources. I don't believe that to be true, because I know for a fact that he did have relationships with players and coaches and the owner. And I think if you're a Jet fan, it was a fascinating conversation just on the dynamics of the ownership group. So that was really the purpose of it, because no one ever talks about Jaime Elhai's role since he's been the team president, or Ira Axelrod's role as like the Woody Johnson, Chris Johnson money guy, even though he's not technically, and he's not a Jet employee. I think that stuff is interesting. So that was my big thing. I don't regret having him on at all. I've actually been surprised that the feedback has been, for the most part, overwhelmingly positive. And there's some who don't like it, and that's fine. But that's always been my thing. If you don't like the show, people tell me they don't watch my show anymore because I'm too negative on Aaron Glenn. All right, well, I'm just giving, like, exactly. Like, I'm doing just fine. Like, there's other shows out there that if that's where you want to go, that's fine. I'm just going to always be honest with my opinion. And that's why I like bringing on different guests who do the same thing.
100%. You know what? He made a couple points that every Jet fan is, I think, thinking. One of them being, why the Jets need the 33rd team? How come you don't have, like, Woody, Chris, how come you don't have relationships like, say, an Elliott Wolf on the Patriots to call and say, look, I'm familiar with your staff. I want to talk to this guy. You shouldn't need outside, like Charlie Casserly, that going back even further. Those are valid points. So to completely discount an interview that you didn't listen to really irks me. And please don't let that deter you from doing what makes this channel what it is, the place to be. So
I appreciate it, Doc. Is that, by the way, a World Baseball Classic quarter zip I see?
It is. I told you I have a relationship not only with the Israeli baseball team, but I coached. The Maccabi Olympics happen every 4 years in Israel. I coached Team USA 2 golds, 2018, 2022. So that's what I do when I'm not listening to Jake Asman. So
that's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what. I know one of my good friends was a hockey player in the Maccabi games.
Was it Zach Hyman?
No, it was not Zach Hyman. Although there's several really good Jewish NHL stars right now. Which
tremendous. Cool. And the for those who don't know, the Maccabi Olympics, it's 12,000 Olympians, athletes from all over the world. The hockey is the greatest thing ever. Yeah. Because the USA Canada game, it was 10,000 people watching it in a really nice rink, and it was a great game. So I'm proud to be part of that. I'm also proud to be part of this community. It's a lot of fun. Plus, I retired, so I need something to do. So.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you what, if you could coach the Jets next, that might help.
I know nothing about. You talk to
neither do the Jets. Guys. You fit right in, Doc. Neither do the Jets.
I'm a baseball guy, but I could. You know what? These guys that are the money guys on the Jets that seem to have too much influence. I mean, I put rosters together that were pretty good, but I'm not going to oversell you. It just annoys me though that the guys like Meta. Look, you know what? Don't insult my intelligence as a viewer. I can choose to listen or not listen, and then I can choose within that interview what I choose to believe. And for you to make the judgment, you shouldn't have this guy on, it cheapens your show. Bullshit. That's not true. And, give us a little bit of ability to decide what we choose to believe. I thought it was a great interview. So thank you.
Well, Doc, thank you for the kind words, man. And that's an awesome backstory about what he's doing for the U.S. and Israeli teams there. But yeah, I mean, again, I posted the full clip of my interaction with Carlin yesterday. I went on with them after we played them talking about it during one of their segments. And then I went on as a guest. And I like Chris a lot. I've known him for years. So, he's entitled to his opinion, obviously. But like, again, I think if you're a Jet fan, you learned interesting nuggets, interesting things from that interview with Manish Mehta. And you don't have to take everything he says 100%. Like, you could formulate your own opinion. I know someone made this example yesterday on the show when Todd McShay is talking about the Jets after they fired his best friend, Joe Douglas. I don't always take everything Todd McShay says 100% because I know he's inherently going to have a little bias because of that relationship there, right? So it all comes with the territory. So Manish obviously could be bitter against the Jets. They went out of their way to try and get his credentials revoked and get the Daily News to fire him. But the idea that he never broke stories or everything he did the entire time was unethical. That I don't believe. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had a job for almost 15 years.
Yeah, and my issue is more with Carlin. Like, if you're gonna critique and criticize to the point where you're calling into the ESPN show, how do you not watch it? Like, I think that having a predetermined axe grinding session without all of the information at hand is a little wild. At least, say, hey, I didn't want to watch it, but in order to have this discussion with you, I did. I begrudgingly watched it. Like, but just to say I didn't watch it, I'm just mad that you did this. To be mad that you did this is more about him than it is about you or Manishan anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls. We called this person out by name. We said, we need you to call in if you're going to be a part of Asmaniac Madness for the committee to decide where to properly position her in the bracket. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello right now to an esteemed member of the 4%, Leanie, North Carolina. Hello, Leanie.
Hello.
Morning, young lady.
Yes, it's been a while. Yeah, sorry.
We miss you, Leanie. I know you've been in the chat and you're on the Discord, but I miss seeing your face.
Oh, thank you. Oh, well, don't mind me now. I'm still in my pajamas. Sorry. But it was just hard. Like, I have nothing to say, really. I'm just so delusioned with what's happening. I have no hope left. I really think the Jets finally cracked Leanie. So it's been hard. And that's why I haven't really called in. I'm just so sad, and it's just horrible. I have no hope, and I wanted Glenn fired. I always thought with every other team, any team really, our team too, a coach needs 2 to 3 years. Okay. But lately what's been going on with the Jets? No, I want, and I like Glenn, but just some of the things, I get it. You have to learn, and he's learning on the job, but there was just a lot of things that went on in the season and just didn't make any sense. Like, he didn't know about how long the field goal was. What? And then you saw, I can't remember what game it was, but he didn't do anything at the end of the half, which he didn't do
back-to-back weeks, right? The Denver game, and then he said, "Oh, we should have thrown the Hail Mary at the end of the first half." He did.
Right? Was that the one where Garrett Wilson ran to the sideline and was in his face? If you noticed, okay, if you decided to do that, I didn't agree with it. But if you decided to do that, fine. But nobody in that huddle knew that was what was going on. You could see when even Justin Fields, he kept looking to the sideline, and you could tell he was like, what? So that's what made me mad too. I get it, but you're the head coach. All those guys on the field should have known we're not doing anything. We're going to let the time run out. And then with the field goal thing, so it's just a couple of things. It's just like, I get it, but I just felt he didn't get better as the season went on, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm trying to have hope, guys. I love you. You guys are my 2 favorite content creators, but I don't know. But also too, it has been a couple of weeks, and I have to get this off my chest since I called in. But sorry, and I don't want to hurt Beast's feelings, but I think you're a little soft. I do remember with one of your intros, and it had 3-time survivor of an ear infection.
That's right.
And myself, right? Was that, or was I seeing things, Jake?
No, he's a 3-time ear infection survivor.
Okay. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, hey, in 1989, I had my daughter. The first
Did you have an ear infection while you were pregnant, Leanie? Come on, let's put things.
No.
Right.
I was pregnant and I had her. Okay. That first whole year of her life, every 3 months, I got tonsillitis. Okay. So I had 102.5 fever. I was so stuffed up that I couldn't sleep. My throat was so sore, it was hard to swallow. So then that's what she said. Yeah, I got you, Nick. But anyway, And
Girl right
to
there.
take the medicine, I couldn't even, like, it was hard to swallow the antibiotics. Plus, I had a baby to take care of, and I was working. So tell me 3 times you just had a freaking ear infection. Sorry, Beast, you are soft. And there's no way you would have been able to. Plus, I had a C-section. So I was all doing that. So tonsillitis every 3 months for the first year of her life. Had to take care of her. Had to work. Had a C-section. Okay, there's no way Beast could have handled that. So I'm sorry, you're soft.
Wow,
She's the queen, ladies and gentlemen. That's why she's the
I had
queen.
to do it. It was bothering me for a while. And I was going to call it, I can't remember, Jake, what show it was. But I saw that and I was like, wait, what? And I was ready to call in. But then my boss, my brother, called. So I had to get off. The show was still on. But then my grandchildren called. And yes, I am a Mimi, as stated a lot. So they come first. And then after a while, it just kind of was like, well, how do I bring this up now? But since I called in, I had to get it off my chest.
Wow, Leanie, this is a strong return call. This is why you're an OG. This is why the committee wanted you to call in to qualify for the tournament. You come in all nice. You give it your usual call, and then you're ready to come out swinging.
I'm ready to rumble.
Let's go. New Q wants to know if you're single, by the way, Leanie.
Who does?
New Q.
Oh, that's very kind. No, I'm not. I'm happily married to my best friend, and it's going to be 25 years on March 17th.
Let's go. Let's
so
go.
We're planning on a trip. You know, after what happened last May, I didn't know we would get here. So we're going away, and hopefully we'll have a great time. Oh, and Artie, I forgot. I wanted to say too to Artie, I'm so happy that you're okay. And you are correct. This, both the Asmaniacs and the Shiners are the best ever. I was at first, should I really share what happened to Mr. Leanie? And then I said, I need to. I got to get out of this. And when I did it, everyone was so kind, and everybody just let me keep updating. So that really, really helped me. So it is true. It's such great. I feel like we're all family, and I love you all so much.
Leanie, this was a legendary call.
Message. Just tell him be very grateful he didn't have to go through an ear infection with all that you guys went through last year. Just be very, very grateful it wasn't an ear infection. Things could be worse.
I saw. See, Beast just said something in the studio chat, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't speak. I don't know if that's Spanish or is that Italian. And I did take Spanish and Italian in high school. I can count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then what is it?
Today's ear infección. Today's ear infección.
That's it.
I'll tell you what, Leanie.
What is he saying to me? Is he saying something mean?
I don't know. Nobody speaks Beast, but I'll have to ask him on your behalf. All right. You're the best, Leanie. Call back soon. All right.
Love you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen.
She didn't even get out of her pajamas and she kicked ass.
I didn't.
Unreal. Leanie. Man, I don't know where Leanie's going to be seated, what the committee's going to do, but
reconvene.
There's got to be a Leanie versus Beast matchup that somehow is on the table in one of the rounds. Maybe the first round. Who knows?
We gotta reconvene.
Unreal.
Moves have to be made.
Leanie is ready for Asmaniac Madness. Let's go. Hell yeah. The Dominican Destroyer is ready to enter the Asmaniac raffle, giving away a signed Joe Klecko helmet at the end of our second show today.
I'm sorry, I just had a
Dominican Destroyer in the raffle for one. Let's get to more of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, he's on the line, and I'd imagine he wants to respond. Beast? Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
How about an American flag? The Olympics are going on.
I'm representing my heritage.
I thought you were Italian.
Part.
And
This is
Japanese.
also part of my heritage. Well, you just woke up a sleeping giant. And when you wake up a sleeping giant, there comes another thing. See,
Beast, it's the Olympics. We're only repping the U.S. right now. If you're a U.S. citizen, those are the rules.
Why does it not surprise me he has a German flag at hand?
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the Olympics, we're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. USA Hockey in action today, 3:10 Eastern Time, taking on Sweden. Beast, you better be rooting for the USA. US a 1.5 favorite on the spread for the game. They're also minus 265 on the goal line, aka the money line. So can the U.S. stay undefeated in these Olympics? We will find out, but it should be a very competitive game. They've looked awesome so far. So if you're going to bet on the Olympics, bet on USA Hockey. Do it with our sponsor, FanDuel Sportsbook. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your super chats, including this one from the Lup Man. Now I know why I lost to Leany. I need to up my game. That was a great battle last year. I think it was a first-round matchup between the Lup Man and Leany. A lot of great matchups coming your way this year.
Yes, I will sign off on that. I think that you guys will enjoy this. Also, my Instagram algorithm, shout out to them for sharing pictures of the ladies' Swedish hockey member team. Good luck, ladies. I'm not Swedish, but good luck to you, and thank you for your existence.
Dr. Cornelius says, Beast is suffering from a life-threatening hangnail, and now he has to deal with Leany trashing him. Poor guy.
Yeah, I can't believe he has. Yeah, poor guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, last chance to get in on the show. Call in, get your voice heard. Your reaction to the Connor Rogers mock draft is what we led the show with. Let me talk to you about Breece Hall now, Nick. Where are you at with Breece? Do you think the Jets should franchise him, transition tag him, extend him, or let him walk?
I was a little disappointed when I found out that with the transition tag, you cannot trade them. So I think you let him go. I don't think you pay that salary, and I don't think you franchise him. I think the Jets will try to extend him, but I think he'll want to test the market. And he's had a lot of tweets that have shown he's not content here, and then he's walked it back when he's in front of the media that he just wants to win. I don't know if he stays. I think he wants out.
I franchise him. I'm not losing him for nothing.
That's
for an extra $3
million, I don't want to pay that money for a running back.
But it's 1 year, and you have all this cap space. You're not paying a quarterback. Like, you might as well.
I can see the logic in doing it.
Who are you replacing him with, right? You're still going to sign someone. Like, how much money are you truly saving?
Oh, no, I draft someone. I draft a running back all the time. I'd rather put those financial investments into the line so that the running backs can be successful.
Yeah, but they have no quarterback, so at least bring back a running back who's a dynamic playmaker.
I don't know. I've been very underwhelmed by Breece. It's 4 years. It took him to the end of the fourth year to hit 1,000 yards, and it's always been excuses. Sometimes a change of scenery is good for everybody. I like Breece the player. I like Breece the talent. I don't like the running back, any running back, at $14 million a year.
On a 1 year deal, though, I don't think it's the worst idea. Because they didn't trade him at the deadline. So just to lose him for nothing is bad asset management when there was reportedly a fourth rounder on the table.
I know. It might not be the most favorite move or fan favorite move that they do, but that's me. I would rather, like I said, constantly get a new running back, keep the running backs on the rookie deal. Everyone talks about the quarterback on the rookie deal. Denver did it for years, right? Just if you have the line in place, you can just bring in running back after running back. They lost Terrell Davis, a Hall of Famer. They bring in Mike Anderson. He goes for 1,800 yards because they had the line in place. That's where I'm at with the running back position. Like, I don't want to draft a safety at 2. I don't want to draft a running back at 2 because if you have elite players all around them, their jobs are easier. I want the guys that make everyone else's job easier, and a running back won't do that. The line will.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to more of your outstanding calls right now. On the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man who I believe many, when they fill out their brackets, will have going very, very far.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman, he got an orange wall.
What's up, Asmaniacs? How you guys doing today? So I have a couple points to talk about. So with Breece Hall, we got to keep Breece Hall. You know, whatever it takes. Franchise tag him. We got to keep Breece Hall. He's one of the best running. He's like one of the better running backs in the National Football League. It's probably one of the dumbest. It's probably one of the dumbest moves to let him walk. I think it's a very dumb move. What's your thoughts on that, Jake?
You're so Nick? Loud. Jeez, why are you so loud?
What's your thoughts on that, Nick? Do you think we should keep Breece Hall? Because honestly, I feel like Breece Hall can be one of the best running backs, and he's one of the better running backs in the National Football League. Like if we get rid of him, it'll probably be one of the stupidest moves. And then it's Beast on the line because I want to see what Beast does all day besides staying in his lair.
Can you hear me? Where to go with that? There was 17 different questions and requests in that one sentence.
Is Beast on the line? Because I want to see what he does all day besides staying in that lair of his.
Shut the fuck up!
What's up, Beast? How you doing today? Throw me 15. Honestly, Beast, throw me 15 punches. Throw me some punches. See if you can punch.
How about I give you a nice whip in the ass? You don't want to go here with me.
Oh man, Beast. This is what's gonna happen as Man Madness, everyone. This is gonna happen. Beast, can you even throw 15 punches?
How would you like how would you like a new taste of a little? You want the young bucks then? This is what happens when you play with fire.
Can you hear me?
BG! That's what's gonna happen to your sorry ass if you get in my way.
That's true. But this is gonna be competition this year. Look at this competition, Beast.
What rope are you talking about? This whole team looks like it's shot to shit. Who the hell you think you are? I am.
Honestly, guys, can you hear me? This is gonna be happening as me, man. This is gonna be happening to the competition. Good job. But honestly, as Maniacs, I need to get my leg workout. See you guys.
We covered a lot of ground there, those two.
What a time to be alive.
The tournament is upon us, baby. Selection Sunday is less than 2 weeks away, about 10 days away, if you think about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to everyone's reaction. The reaction show, the reveal show last year was a lot of fun to be a part of, and I think we've learned from last year, and the first round matchups are going to be very interesting. The reactions to that should be fun.
Common Country says Mad Max needs some creatine.
A little bit.
Interesting comment here from Bill Walton, who I thought died last year. Maybe keep this to the Jets. Well, if you want Jets content, I recommend you typically listen to the first hour of the show. After that, it could be anything. You never know what could happen.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Good job.
You just don't know.
Yeah. We go where the callers take us.
This is true. This is very true. Speaking of callers, last chance to get in on the show. The link is pinned in the live section. I'll post it again for people who don't know how to do it. Also, your last chance to enter our Joe Klecko raffle for the signed helmet during this show. Again, join the Patreon if you haven't. A couple Patreon shout outs. Marine Jet Vet and Leon M, our two most recent Patreon subscribers. Thank you both for your support. Couldn't do it without you. And everyone on the Patreon, make sure you guys check out the members only video or Patreon only video, the Monday Night Miracle doc that Vice TV featured me in. I posted the full thing for all Patreon users to enjoy ad free. Ladies and gentlemen, Mario writes in, Mad Max didn't plug his show to step up. Jerome says, hey, Mad Max, try the decaf. Bo says, Mad Max just hyperextended his elbow. PBM says, Mad Max punches like a bad kung fu movie.
I think it's a little bold that Max has in his subtitle, vote for me in Asmaniac Madness. He just assumes he's in.
Look, I don't want to speak for the committee, but I feel like he's got a pretty good chance to be in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, but asking for votes before you even know, that's a little carriage before the horse situation.
People are thirsty. People want to win. It changes lives. Just ask Mr. Bonesy how his life has changed since he won the tournament last year. He hasn't paid for a meal in New York since.
He should have never paid for a meal in New York. He's a legend.
Ladies and gentlemen, last chance before we wrap up our show. Again, just want to thank the Asmaniac audience for helping us hit 44,000 subscribers. Announced that at the beginning of the show. Right now, there's only one man who's on hold. Ladies and gentlemen, for maybe the final time this show, we check in with a guy they call the Beast. Duh.
Listening to a little Haley's comment. My band.
Sing it for us.
Nah, it's too heavy for you. It's way too fast for you. Plus, you don't know how heavy this is. This song talks about a lot of the crazy stuff in Samara and Aquaria's land. Not your world, my friend. This is a world fit for one king. And it's too. And I love to send you the video of it, but I don't know if you'd handle it within the first 4 minutes. I don't think you would. This is not a world not fit for you. Only fit for one man and one man only.
Are you a man's man?
How much blood have I spilled? About 6 quarts of gallons of blood.
6 quarts of gallons? Is that a new measurement?
How many ear infections have you survived?
Oh, 25, 2005, 2015, 2016. Been there, done it.
Have you ever been pregnant?
Haters, you ain't got no testes. But
How many children have
I do got friends. I do got friends from the other side.
Oh.
And I
got
them.
What the hell is this now? What are you, the British Bulldogs?
My grandmother's country, where my grandmother came from.
Aren't we all from there, Beast?
I don't think so. You might be close, but remember, close only counts in a game of horseshoes, hand grenades, and everyday life. And you know who else also came from here? The great Steven Regal. Yeah, you know who Steven Regal is.
How about King George III?
Yes, of course. Who else came from England? The NWO BHM. Who started the NWO BHM? Angel Witch, Def Leppard, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Venom,
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney, that's America.
David Beckham.
Nah, and another band, one of my leaders, Motorhead. The great Lemmy Kilmister, the guy that goes, hey, baby, give me some Jack and Coke on that Ace of Spades. So, hey, and also, when you come from this country, soccer was also known for its legendary takes in this country as well. Chelsea
It's
FC.
not called soccer there.
Chelsea, can I ask you a question?
Arsenal, even Manchester United. Who was on Manchester United a long time ago? The great Chicharito, who came
How about
from
Crystal
Chivas,
Palace?
Mexico.
Crystal Palace.
Not my league.
It's in the
Chelsea
same league.
FC, at Manchester United, Arsenal. Who does Arsenal have? The whole French team from France. Manchester
The whole
United.
French team from France.
Beast, can I ask you a question?
You know who Manchester United had? The great David Beckham, Michael
Hey,
Owen,
how about the
Wayne
Beatles?
Rooney.
How about One Direction?
We'll see about that.
How about Prince Harry?
He's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. See, you got to remember something, too, because a lot of things
How
are
about Piers
happening right
Morgan?
now in this world as we speak. As we go on into the future, There's going to be some more surprises to come, and you ain't seen nothing yet. This is only just the beginning of the end. It ain't even the end of the beginning. We've only just begun.
Beast, can I ask you a question?
Come on.
All right. You have the German flag. You have the Great Britain flag. How many other countries' flags do you have laying around?
I got the Italian one too, but I only use that for when the Godfather gets. As a matter of fact, the guy from the Godfather passed away the other day, Robert Duvall.
Do you have an American flag?
What happened?
Do you have an American flag?
Beast, they're calling you a traitor. Benedict Beast, where's your American flag?
I don't play games.
The Olympics are on right now. The Team USA needs your support.
First of all, I'm repping this for the World Cup, and I'm also doing this. And I'm also repping this because my grandmother came from Great Britain.
Yeah, but what about the U.S. where you live?
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Family matters.
Go back to England then.
Yeah, well, the old saying is, if you don't like what you see, change the channel. You can kiss my big ass. Woo!
Or we could just go to another caller. How about that? That's an option too.
Do it. Who we got?
Ladies and gentlemen, home stretch.
My name is Lumpy, not Lumpy. I'm not De Niro, just call me Lumpy. I had a mullet the last time the Jets were winners. Don't call me Lumpy, 'cause I'm friggin' Lumpy.
There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Lumpy.
We got
you
the
hear
Mac.
me? Yeah, sorry.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
I'm just
me?
doing a little laundry. I don't mean to offend Gary, but
Good job.
figured I call in. It's a little crazy again. I understood Leanie, how she's feeling down, and now they
Can you hear
pushed me
me?
over the edge. I am over the edge. I'm passed down and out. I'm fucking crazy. Excuse my language. I'm going nuts because of what they're doing. I have no idea what we're going to be doing as far as the draft goes. I just hope they make the right picks. I'm just going to be behind them no matter what, 110%. I'm just saying. I'm saying they're making me crazy. They're making me crazy, guys.
Good job.
Lumpy.
That's it. You guys
pray
can't hear
to
you.
your God. If you want the Jets
Wonder
to
about
not
problems.
start,
All right, guys.
bend the knee.
I'll talk to you guys
me,
later.
Lumpy. Bend the knee. Bend the knee.
Can you hear me?
Lumpy, you good?
Can you
Yeah,
hear
I'm
me,
good.
Lumpy?
You guys good? Can you hear me now?
It's God.
Can you hear me?
All right. I guess I got crappy reception in here. I'll call you guys probably later on today. I'll talk to you
Bend
later.
the knee, Lumpy.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Lumpy, are you there? Is there a Lumpy alive out there? Lumpy, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Good job.
Good job. Can you hear me?
We lost a great one out there. The great Lumpy. Sad. Real sad.
He made some good points though on his rant.
He did. He really did. Shout out to Justin who says, Jake, you and Ty need your own show. Y'all were great on Monday. Well, thank you, Justin. Very kind of you to write that. Hopefully there'll be more shows in the future with Ty. Always good to work with him. Hollywood Rio with a $10 super chat earns himself 2 raffle tickets. Appreciate you supporting the content, supporting the show, Hollywood. I got you down. Really quick, if not Brees, then who? Are we keeping him? Are we drafting a running back? If so, who? Beast for Prez. Hollywood, I would keep Brees on the tag. If they don't keep him, I do expect them to sign someone. It's not a great running back draft, and I don't think the Jets are going to take one in round 1 or round 2. So I think you're looking at like Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker. Who are the other free agent running backs? J.K. Dobbins, Javonte Williams, Rico Dowell, Nick Chubb, Kenneth Gainwell. Like they'll sign someone. if they don't keep Brees.
Connor Rogers the other day had a video, and he said that not Love, but Price, the other running back from Notre Dame, if you told him that in 2-3 years he was a top 5 running back in the NFL, he wouldn't be shocked. So that's a guy you could probably get in round 2, or if you move back and you get a 3, early 3, you could get him. And I'm fine with drafting running backs. I really am. I don't want to overpay for the running back position. I get that. Listen, we can like Brees, but we can realistically look ourselves in the mirror and say it's been very underwhelming. It was great the first 5-6 games.
I don't
And he
think
got
it's all
hurt.
him though. How much of that is that they're not using him properly? They're down in these games. They've had terrible quarterback play. You don't think if he went to the Chiefs, he'd be amazing?
Do you expect to be up in a lot of games this year?
I think if they signed, let's say, Kirk Cousins, they could be more competitive.
Okay.
I mean, how did Frank Reich use Jonathan Taylor, right? Like, that'd be something I would be looking at.
I don't know if Brees is that guy. There's so many times where Brees doesn't hit the hole hard. He stops, he spins, he takes losses where a better running back lowers his shoulders, lowers his pad level, and just goes through the contact. And I think Brees tries to avoid the contact too much, and that running style aggravates me. Sometimes you got to be the guy to create the contact, and you can hit that defender, knock him back, break the tackle, go forward, fall forward, and get that yard or two. But I think he tries to avoid the contact in the backfield too much, and it equals more loss.
I just think he's better than you're giving him credit for. But again, I'm not going to lose sleep if he's not here.
I'm just fairly assessing him. Like I'm fairly assessing him, and there's things he does great. He's great in the open field. He's great in space. We don't get him there much. We don't get him the ball there. We haven't done that, but there's things he does well, but I don't think it's $14 million a year well.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's closer is
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Hello, Kyle.
How are you?
Not as good as you.
Yes. I'm on my way back home, so not so
How was
great.
the vacation?
Fantastic. Fun was had by all.
Love it. Love the quarter zip as well. Thanks for repping it.
Yes, there we go. So 2 things. Brees, if we weren't gonna tag him, we should have traded him, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, and we don't think anyone's going to pay $12 million if they slap the transition tag on him, right? In this market, with all these other guys available.
I guess I wouldn't be shocked because I've seen a couple of lists that have like Brees Hall as like a top 5 free agent available, so I can't completely rule it out. It's why I rather just he's not going to be happy. He's not getting an extension. I rather just pay the extra $3 million, keep him on the franchise tag, and then you don't lose him no matter what. You put the transition tag on him. I read you can't trade him. And then all of a sudden, let's say a team does make a crazy offer, then the Jets won't be able to match it, and you're losing him for nothing anyway.
Right. So, to me, I don't see anyone matching that. That's me personally. I even though it's a poor running back class, there are some guys, and with all the candidates you just mentioned in the free agent pool, I just don't think that there's really. If we want Brees, I think he's ours for this year. The draft that Connor Rogers did, that's from about a week ago. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And it seems like we're destined. We're hurtling towards a 3-4 here. Is that correct?
That seems to be the feeling given the Dunbar hire, and I guess just looking at what Glenn has done traditionally, but doesn't mean they wouldn't be more multiple.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to me, if you're going more multiple, Reese would make more sense than Bailey at 2. And Denzel Boston at 16 to me is way too high. Like he's a guy who should go off in the 20s. So I like his skill set. I think I like what he would bring to our offense. if he hits. But I think there might be better players available. I was not a fan of what I saw just now with Connor's draft. That said, I've been out of the loop for a little bit, and maybe there's a plan. There's a first time for everything, and let's hope that's the case with Aaron Glenn.
Don't let go of the rope, man. We got a plan. You just got to trust him.
Yeah. Notice that I have the background here in honor of our guest host.
You're hanging out at MetLife, so Nick Shine doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's a good way for me to disguise the Orlando airport. But that's basically all I had. I feel like I've missed a lot. I'm gonna see if people can bring me up to speed in the Discord. There's been a couple of battles that I've missed out on. I'm glad to hear that Audie's on the mend, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the swing of things in the next day or so. I appreciate your time, guys.
Kyle, you're the man. Great call.
Travels, buddy.
Safe flight back from Orlando. Little family vacation for the Cliftons.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, home stretch of our show. I got one last membership shout out that I want to give. StreamYard's doing the thing where it doesn't load it, so I took a screenshot of it for all to see. Doc Jet Fan has gifted 5 channel memberships.
It's Jets, Jets. I love Fireman Ed too.
Doc had an awesome call earlier on the show. If you hear your name, thank Doc. Joe Willie 0925, Beam 709, No More Rat Race for Me, Doug Grimlin, and Gonzo Banger, all receiving a gifted membership from the Doc Jet Fan. He has 5 chances to win our signed Klecko helmet during this afternoon's program. Actually just loaded so I could do the official super chat there. It's crazy, man. I got to open up YouTube on a separate monitor just to see the comments. It's ridiculous. On that note, that's going to do it. I will allow a man who will be drinking a little tea and crumpets this afternoon to join us to get the last word in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
You tell me how crazy I am. I just took 4 chair headshots.
LL Beast, pip pip cheerio.
Yes. What do you need something?
I'm just saying hello to you.
Oh, okay. That's fine then. Thank you very much indeed.
Pip pip cheerio.
Beast, can I ask your question?
Oh, cheerio.
British Bulldogs, greatest tag team ever, or no?
Yes.
Better than Legion of Doom?
The only tag team that I ever went the distance with, the Brutus Beefcake, and another tag team, a partner of his choosing. That's right.
Valentine.
And who was also Brutus Beefcake's manager? The Johnny Valentine. Yeah.
What's interesting is in that clip, Beast listed his name as American Badass, but he doesn't have an American flag.
Lies after lies. Maybe he's still suffering from the ear infections, Jake. We can't expect him to think clearly.
I'll tell you what, that's a show. Everyone go subscribe to Nick Shine's YouTube channel. Nick, post a link in the chat to make it easy for people. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. We got a great guest on the afternoon show today. Paul Kilgallen from Badlands will be joining me. We'll talk about the state of the team and whatever else is newsworthy this afternoon. That will be at 4:30 Eastern time. So I'm looking forward to that. Again, thanks to everyone who tuned in. Listen back to anything you might have missed. You can watch that Carlin versus me segment. I posted it this morning. A little extra content on the channel. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. But I won't leave you all empty-handed. I leave you all with a clip that needs to be played on a day like today. So ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy a clip that is revolutionary around these parts. If you don't believe me, just watch for yourself.
You said people walked on the moon, correct?
Yes.
Prove your claim.
It's not my claim, it's history's claim. You're an ignorant person. I was there. I know it went.
You were on the moon?
You just don't believe it.
Give me the evidence that people walked on the moon.
You don't make any sense.
All I'm asking for is evidence.
You don't believe in achievement.
This is irrational. You're acting like an irate 5-year-old.
Listen to me, big mouth.
Dave Brigham, look like a man. It's not my claim. It's not my burden.
You said you went to college. They teach you nothing?
Shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
This is ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
You can't have a rational conversation. You can't shut your mouth
What
for 5
rational?
seconds.
You're just a denier.
How does me knowing the name of the 3 people who died on the Apollo prove that people walked on the moon?
That itself doesn't prove it, no.
Prove your claim that people walked on the moon.
Men don't die for no reason at all.
How does men don't die for no reason prove that people walked on the moon? Your evidence is that you were alive when someone claimed to have walked on the moon.
I was living then, yes.
What does that prove?
I believe in achievement. I believe in a space program.
You believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon. That's your argument?
I believe people didn't lie to us like you.
I believe in achievement. Therefore, people walked on the moon?
Go read the history. Go look at films. I have books.
Then this should be easy for you. Prove that people walked on the moon. You've done all the research. This should be easy. It's not my burden.
Buzz Aldrin, in his mind, had to calculate the exact landing. You don't believe it was a cover-up?
I don't believe the claim that people walked on the moon. That's it.
I have to prove history, but you don't have to prove anything. Go take some more headshots. You need some.
Take a walk. Now that concludes the final of the Jake Asman Show. We will see you at 4 or 4:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.